Hello everybody, my name is Cutter bringing you guys yet another video, and in today's video, well, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do last time. See, in yesterday's video, I spoke about kind of an interesting concept that I wanted to try to do. Hopefully, this will actually be a long-stayed series, and not just like a temporary thing that I do a couple videos on. What I want to do is I want to get certain characters. Something like for today and tomorrow, I'm going to be doing Krillin. Basically, I'm going to be getting a character, and I'm going to be trying to do it for the whole week, 7 different variations of that character, to try to just add more filler stuff to the game, rather than just a whole bunch of the same units over and over again, just different variations, different transformations, stuff like that. So we can have a bit more diverse team, and kind of just mess around and have some fun characters to play with and look at. For today, it's this Krillin right here. We can also do categories. Before I forget, and I don't mention it, categories are also an option. So if you want to give me a category, rather than the same characters 7 times, it'll be one category that I do 7 times. So if you choose Earthlings, for example, it would be a Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, cards, that would fit into the Earthling category. And I would try to do 7 different Earthlings for that week. For now, I'm just going to do 2 Krillins, one right now, and the one hopefully tomorrow, and then that'll kind of just be like hey, this is what the series will be, and then tomorrow at the end, I will ask you guys to kind of give me what you want, whether you want a character or a category. If you guys, don't choose or anything like that, then, I'll choose, and I'll try to find a character that I think I can make 7 characters off of, or I'll choose a category that I can put 7 characters into to hopefully make some interesting looking appearances. Depending on how well the audio is actually going to be picking up, I'm sure you guys might hear some weird sounds. I'm currently driving. Not exactly the most safe thing to do, but don't worry, I am having my hands on the steering wheel. You might occasionally hear shuffling. That is because I am moving some stuff around, or because, I have to brake or speed up a little bit and then stuff moves around. But don't worry, I am being 100% safe. Right now, you got this very first Krillin. This is a TUI of a Super AGL Krillin, Distracted Multi-Attack Krillin. My concept for this is that he would probably be a banner unit sometime in the future. What my thought was is that he would probably come with the Final Atonement or Final Explosion Evolution Vegeta, the one that fights against Topo. Got a Destruction Topo. Maybe he has a banner unit of a Dispo that maybe I'll make in the future to kind of have an interesting concept about what that, those cards could do. But for now, we're going to stick with this Krillin. His leader skill will be, or his stats, I'll go with stats first. Obviously, I don't know, the mathematics behind how they choose the stats, how high they go. Is there a grand total that all 3 stats are supposed to go to? So this is basically kind of what a makeshift fully rainbowed out 120 stats would be for this Krillin. He has 15,340 HP, 14,470 attack, 10,014 defense. They're kind of just, I looked at other banner units and just kind of said, I think this would make sense. So my concept for him is that he would be a representative of Universe 7 Key plus 3 and all stats plus 120%. Looking at it, he will, the 2 things I have for his, his super attack and stuff, they aren't exactly from the Universal, the actual Tournament of Power, but of course he is a Tournament of Power unit. He does have the link as if he was part of that part of the area. He technically is part of the precursor to it when they're doing training. His super attack is the Chain Destructo Disc. It's kind of like what he does against Goku when he throws the whole bunch when they're kind of training. And the reason why he's Distracted Multi-Attack is because that's when he cuts the hole in the ground for Goku to fall out of. That Goku later adapts against Jiren when he does some explosions and whatnot. His super attack will cause supreme damage to the enemy and lower attack and defense. So overall, it would be a pretty good thing. This is the thing I'm talking about. So he's just throwing some, his Destructo Disc. Overall, I'm sure that last one would probably hit the actual enemy, or maybe it would actually have him falling through the thing and then some type of damage there. His passive is called Interesting Way to Go. Kind of because, it's the whole distraction thing rather than that attack is the damage, is the distraction type of thing. Because in Tournament Power, you can just fall and you lose. His passive would be attack and defense plus 90%, attack plus 90% up to 80, or attack plus 20% up to 80% with each super attack performed, medium chance to stun the enemy, which is a 30% chance, and then a great chance, which is 70%, to launch an additional attack, which has a medium chance to be a super attack, which is 25%. So that really does help his kit, because he won't be overly defensive, a bit more offensive oriented, and then more of that kind of more performance based, something, the additionals and the stunning type of stuff. Overall, that the additional stuff will really help, because if he can get, multiple super attacks, that he can build up his passive thing with a 80% extra attack quicker, so he just does a bit more damage. Plus lowering attack, more times you can do that, the better for events and characters that can have their attack lowered. And then he does have an active skill. His active skill is the 100 times Solar Flare, doing this against Gohan during their little training thing, and then he also does it in the Tournament of Power. I don't exactly remember when, but it is this scene when he just flashes everybody. Warning for seizures. I know it's a little late, so hopefully nothing issues, but, it's just that. He blinds his opponents, and basically what it'll stun all enemies, and it'll also disable dodge, and it can be activated from the third turn from the start of battle once only. So it's stunning all enemies, because that's usually what the Solar Flare has always been used for, is the enemies will just stop moving because they can't see anymore, and then they also, rather than, having them continue attack, but they just miss every time. I thought about that, but then wording would be weird, and also what would that concept be? Just all team can, always dodge his attack, but then something like UI Goku, who disables dodge, well, what would happen then? Because, so I said stunning for any character that can be stunned, but then, I thought, well, if they can't be stunned, it's not overly good, but then he also does disable he disables dodge. So for somebody like the UI Goku, who dodges a lot, Janemba, when he gets an LR or some big card again later in the future, he won't be able to dodge during his events. And then the third turn, just because, is not a damaging thing, and not every single thing will be able to use it later on. So I thought, use it early in the event when they can still be stunned. Ooh, excuse me. So it still does have an advantage with the stunning, and then for characters that dodge, you can use it later on for that. And then his links will be kind of like the usual Krillin links. He'll have Z Fighter, Turtle School, he'll have Fierce Battle, Tournament of Power, because this is that era, Rival Duo, Experienced Fighters, and then Brainiacs, because at this point he is an Experienced Fighter and a Brainiac, especially for what he's doing in this scene, thinking of the 100 times, and for, being smart enough to actually, rather than brute force everything, to just try to win by technicality of getting your opponent out of the ring. So those are his links. On the Tournament of Power, or the Universal Survival Saga and representatives of Universe 7, maybe later when we get good Piccolo and a good Gohan, that'll when the Brainiacs will really come in handy. And then his categories are representatives of Universe 7, of course, Tournament of Power, Earthling, and Full Power. I chose these because Universe 7 and Tournament of Power, obviously. Earthling, obviously, and Full Power, because at this point, this is the strongest Krillin has been. Plus, he's using the strongest variation of the Solar Flare technique that we've seen so far of 100 times. So he does, have quite a bit of a reason to be on these categories. Overall, do I think that he'll be an amazing fit? Yeah, because, once we add more things like Tien and anyone who can get Z Fighters, the Turtle School stuff, or anytime that, Goku, Master Roshi, them have Turtle School at that point, they'll be fantastic for using it. Fierce Battle, always good. Tournament of Power, great. Rival Duo actually is a link, and I also think Experienced Fighter also, so that would also be another thing that they can have with LR Go Frieza, so that'll be a huge thing. And then, Experienced Fighters, plus the other categories, of course, of Earthling. Those are some somewhat common things for Earthling stuff. Brainiacs for a Bulma, Experienced Fighters for, Tien later on and stuff like that. Also, Tien would have Rival Duo. So I do believe that I would say that later on, if I do make a Tien, maybe I'll try to do some Link stuff with him. Overall, I don't know who his best Link buddy would be. I didn't do too much with that. I'm sure there's a couple of characters that could be his best and some that wouldn't be, that you might think. But all in all, I would say, if you pull him, then that's fantastic. But obviously, I wouldn't say that this card and this variation of Krillin would be a banner unit. Would be like the main focus of a banner. The Dokkan Fest, he would be the banner unit to somebody like maybe a Gohan from the Tournament of Power, or like a Gohan Piccolo style thing when they were fighting the two Namekians, or as I said, the Evolution Vegeta. Just throw him on there just to try to get him to have a card. I wouldn't say to have him free to play. You could, but honestly, he does deserve to have this as a banner card. So, all in all, having this, of course, this is the Tournament of Power 1, where it was, technically countered because who he was trying to get against is blind. But as you can see, a powerful thing, he completely blinded Gohan with it during their thing. It's used kind of later with Android 17 when he, jumps into the fake artificial sun thing to blind the girl from Universe. I believe it's 2 with Riberin and all of them. So it is a fairly good technique. And then this is the super attack. Obviously, you change some of the animation stuff, maybe have them hit, maybe have them fall through, things like that. But that does it for this video, guys. If you did like it and you actually enjoyed this idea, then hit the like button and tell me what you like about it, and then you can start voting for what you want to be the next thing I do, whether it's a character or a category. If you guys didn't like it, then go ahead and dislike. It helps me know what I can do to improve, and hopefully I can do more stuff like this later on. If you guys want to know when I post and you can see the next video, especially the next installment in this thing right here, and the best way to know is by subscribing. That does it for this video. Bye, guys.